Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. In this week's video, we're going to look at one of the more overlooked features of the ER1, the old school Monotribe from Korg, and some cool ways that you can use it with both drums and more melodic instruments. So here's what we're going to do today. So first up, we are going to look at using drums into the input. Now I know that you can just run audio in and get some cool effects. So I have obviously the ER1, and then I have the Volca Drum attached to it. And let's just look. We'll get all of the steps in so we can hear the drums all the way through. And then I just have the MIDI synced, so it's sending MIDI clock out so I can start and stop, so the two will be synced together. It makes it nice and easy. So let's play a little bit and then I'll show you where the audio is coming in and some of the parameters that you can move around at a very basic level without going into the sequence, the motion sequence and anything like that. So let's push play, and then we're going to mute. Oh. So now it's just playing the drums here. So if I turn the volume down, sequence is going, but you got nothing. So if I turn up the volume again, now you can see we have a couple of controls here in the amp section. So we have the decay, level, pan, and the low boost. So if I come along and we've got, these are the steps we've got coming in. So if we just take out a bunch of them, and then if we pull the decay down, get that really sort of glitchy sort of drum sound. So if I bring the decay all the way up, it pretty much just plays the whole thing through. So like around the 10, 30, 11 o'clock position is where you'll get like a nice little decay. So you'll still get hits, but it's not going to be too like that really sort of just blips and blops sort of thing. So let's bring all the way up, and obviously level does what it does, nothing too crazy. And then the pan, you can hear that left and right there. And then the low boost is where you can get some nice sort of, it kind of almost overdrives the circuit. So you just got to find that sort of happy medium. If we come along and just mute this first, and then if we come along and just bring in the kick from the ER1, and you kind of start to get some more funky little patterns with that. But for now, we'll just mute that again and bring that down. I have a little mute. It's like a little 808-ish sort of kick going. So if I bring up the low boost there, it's cool, but it does just eliminate everything. And then obviously I have the stereo out going into two inputs here. So if I come along and mute this one, and then we'll bring up this one, this allows us to do some cool little funky things. So for now, let's just keep this one going, and then what we can do is and then bring this decay down. So now we just have it playing on the 2nd and 4th bar here. So what we can do is go into audio 1, and then we're going to choose, we'll go with a little bit here and a little bit here, but we're going to, actually we'll go like this. So these two, the audio 1 and audio 2, both coming from the same box, but you're going to get different decay values on it. So and then also with audio 1, let's bring up the low boost a little bit. And then what we can also do is we'll do a little pan left to right. So we'll go like this. So now we're getting a little, let's try that again. We'll go. There we go. We got the left to right pan. So one of the drums in audio 1 is doing the left and right pan. And then the other one is just playing straight down the center. So if we go and mute this one. And that's a way that you can use it sort of creatively to get a little bit more like funkiness with the drum. So let's bring in the rest of the drums. And that's a lot going on. So let's mute these two. And let's just mute that. And that's a way that you can use it creatively with the two audio ins to get something a little bit different. Next up, let's look at some of the melodic elements and how you can use those to sort of get a little bit different, and you can use these as sort of gates to get some maybe happy accents. So next up we're just going all Korg with this. We have the Korg Monotribe with the ER1, and this one I'm not going to set the BPM to match the two, so it's kind of going to be a little bit more free flow, and we're going to get some sort of happy accidents with it. So now we just have the ER1 going in. If we bring up audio 1. I just had to change the volume a little bit because this comes in a little bit weaker. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to record in a little pattern. You can see the two going together and they're definitely out of time. So that's kind of what we want, because we want that sort of the notes moving around a little bit. Obviously this is going to give you that sort of more left field, sort of weird house music feel, even techno feel, but we're going to get some cool effects with it anyway. So let's push record and then let's take out some of these. And you can hear there, it constantly moves around with those those little bits that are sort of coming up. Let's play around a little bit more with the pattern we have in here. Let's change the little pattern up a bit more. Let's go like this. And then get the pattern going again. Go with a different oscillator here. You can start to see, you can start to build it up a little bit from there. Play around with the LFO a little bit. I feel like it would be really good as like a little accompanying line there. Almost gives me like sort of Poor Cousin Chemical Brothers vibes. So there you go, there's the Monotribe with it. Kind of a free-flowing audio going into the ER1 and using the gate. Lastly, we're going to look at like a bass generator to see some other little bits and pieces that we can do with it. So lastly, we're going to look at the Volca NuBass with the ER1 and the way that I use this, where I sort of came up with a little pattern, and I think this is possibly the sort of funkiest and best way to use it, is to have the audio 1 and audio 2, and then as we did before, have the decay different on each one, and then you can get really cool sort of flowing and then sort of glitchy and then flowing and then glitchy, and you'll see what I mean. So we can start playing it. So for the first part here, I have the, and if I just solo that, so So this is just the one here. And then if I bring up the other one, and it's a way that you can, it's like chopping the first part and then having the second part flow a bit better. So and one thing you can do as well is, again, as we did before, you could use the pan to get that sort of moving a little bit more. So we got that left to right pan going there. And as I love to do, we're going to mute the kick and use that delay to sort of get that real metallic sound. And then obviously you can do things like, we're going to mute one, mute the other. Kind of gives that nice little speed to it. So there you go. We have looked at some different applications for the audio in on the ER1. I definitely find that using it a little bit more sparingly will be the way to go. And while it might work okay on the more sort of chord based, I think you're going to have more luck by just playing the chords in to your recording software, whether that be Ableton, Logic and whatnot. But I think for using it creatively to get different effects on the one synth line or with the drums is a good way to sort of push past that just loading up your DAW and playing around. This way you get to explore a little bit more and you get to kind of hopefully come up with some happy accidents. So at the end of the day, hopefully you've liked this video and hopefully I've inspired you to create something. And until next time, see you later.